Hello and welcome to the Movie Podcast. My name is Daniel, and joining alongside me today are Anthony.
Hello.
And Shahbaz.
Bonjour, mes amis.
I just want to say, I'm happy to see you guys in person.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was so sweet. I was waiting for you to drop something like, "I'm going to slit your throats" or something like that.
Oh no!
This day has gotten worse and worse every minute. Something like that, something more on brand.
No, I'm happy to see you guys.
No, it's great.
Been a while.
It has been a while. So I feel like since that event that we decided we'll no longer mention on the show, even though we have the Oscars, we haven't done an in-person episode. Even the week before that, right?
Yeah,
that's when we did our Oscars prediction episode, which feels like 30 months ago at this point.
It does.
Yeah, time has been very strange. April's been a very strange month.
Yeah. It's been super strange, but I'm glad to be here.
Even.
Doctor Strange, but May's coming, so hopefully
we are on the cusp.
Things happen other than Doctor Strange,
right?
But yeah, I'm just glad to record in person.
I was thinking that today too. On the way here, I was like, man, I feel like I haven't seen these guys in a long time, even though I have seen you guys.
Yeah, we have
outside of the show.
That's how you know it's a good relationship, when you want to see the person. Like, when you're in a relationship. And you're always with this person, and then maybe you take a week off.
Right.
Like, oh, I miss seeing that person.
Yeah.
The worst thing is when I'm in a relationship with somebody and I don't want to see them.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
I think that's called a bad relationship.
It could be called a bad relationship. It could be toxic, maybe.
There's no confirming. If you want to write into the show at hello@TheMoviePodcast.ca and let us know, is that a good or a bad relationship? We'd love to dissect that.
What's also interesting too is that when I'm looking at our recent reviews, because there are lots of recent reviews, a lot of them we watched so long ago. So now that they're finally out in the world, it's like, oh, but we recorded that together like weeks ago. So it doesn't feel like we've been in a room together recording in a while.
And also last week we didn't really have any screeners to go to, so we kept it cool. No trips downtown.
No trips downtown, no movies, but that's all going to change very soon.
That's going to change very soon.
Yeah. How you doing though, Shay? You doing okay?
Did you call me Show?
I'm doing Shay. How you doing though?
You call me Show?
No, I said Shay. How you doing though? I said Shay. How you doing though?
It sounded like Show.
I said Shay. How you doing though?
I'm doing good. Allergy season is if you're in Toronto, write in as well or tweet me. How bad are your allergies right now? Because man,
hashtag how bad are your allergies?
Yeah, hashtag shallergies.
Shallergies.
Timothy Shallergy. My allergies are really kicking my ass. Like not so much right now. Like there's still some there. Like I sound a little like yeah, but
okay.
But I think they'll go away mid-episode.
This is the time of season where you don't know if it's allergies or if it's COVID or if it's a cold.
Well, if I can't smell or taste, that must mean it's allergies, right?
We'll see.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
But the allergies can affect your
they do
sense
affect
of taste.
They do affect them
and smell. So,
but not as drastic as COVID, I would assume. I haven't had COVID, but I'm going to assume not as bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're hoping. Write in, let us know. Right into our COVID line.
If you've had allergies and COVID, let us know. What's the difference?
we need to know. We actually need to know. You doing okay though, Anthony?
What you sound like a dad at like
you doing okay though, Anthony?
You sound like a dad at like a picnic. Like, are you okay, son?
Yeah.
We're just gonna
Can I get you anything there?
Yeah.
Can I get you anything else?
You need any drinks?
You already asked me this. I'm doing well.
Okay, man. Last time I'll ever ask you again.
Well, remember, with Anthony, we ask only during the review episode.
It's true.
But then the culmination comes during the main episode.
I just always want to make sure everyone's doing okay. I'm going to ask you again later in the show.
Well, I'm
going
to tell you everything on this podcast if I'm not doing okay,
Yeah.
It's not my therapy session.
It should be, though.
My weekly therapy session.
Yeah, that's someone else.
This is my therapy session, though. I treat this as therapy for myself.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not helping that.
No, it's not. It's not helping at all.
We should be billing you $200 an hour.
I mean, you can if you want to. But as always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday. And watch out throughout the week for our review episodes and all the latest movies and series. Make sure you follow us at The Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, join our Discord, and write into the show at hello@themoviepodcast.ca. You can also watch us on YouTube twitter.com/TheMoviePodcast, and check out our show notes for all of those links and more. Anything that you want to plug, Anthony, about what you've been doing on our YouTube page, because I did want to celebrate, all the hard work that you've been doing there, and Shay with making some of the shorts as well too. It's been really fun just having a lot of our, I hate using the word content for us, but having a lot of our episodes and interviews and discussions kind of turned into smaller bite-sized form bits of content to consume.
Yeah, I think for YouTube, it's just another avenue to get our show across, and getting newcomers to listen, and because I find like YouTube is more open in terms of someone searching, but
discovery.
Then again, the algorithm can lead to more the people with the most followers. But I think every day, if I started 3 years ago, I think we would have been in a better spot right now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, man.
It's just
yeah, of course.
It's just the way it is, just in terms of growth.
Listen, man, if we started this podcast 15 years ago, we'd be living in our own island right now.
Holy shit, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we have interviews on there. We have our polar bear interview, which is doing really, really well.
Yeah.
Which talks about climate change, which talks about the plight of the polar bears with the directors of the film. We have our Northman trailer. We have our Bad Guys trailer. We have our
review.
Yeah. Did I say trailer?
You said trailer, yeah.
Review. We have our interview with Key, who's in Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's been growing. So I think, the more people that subscribe, the more content we'll be able to deliver.
Yeah.
My goal is to continuously drive that and get people to see what we look like instead of hear.
Right.
Get both. And I think like the posters that I make look really good.
They look great in 4K.
They look great.
Yes.
What's also really nice too, especially that we have the opportunities to talk to so many of these amazing people. Like you said, yes, having the audio is amazing and convenient to listen to, but it's also nice when we have those clips and we share those clips on our socials. So of course, check out our show notes. The links to all of our personal socials are there too if you want to follow us, because we have some great takes and some great tweets and posts that we're going to have on taste and tweets.
Are you just finding words right now?
No, we have great takes and tweets is what I was going to say. It just came off strange and uncomfortable. But speaking of Doctor Strange, we will have our review and our social reactions going up live next week for it, because we're going to be watching it very soon.
May the
3rd. Yeah. So very, very soon, you'll be able to hear what we think of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse.
Yeah, like the month of May is going to be wild, because we have Doctor Strange, Top Gun, Stranger Things, Obi-Wan. There's a lot of things happening. And then this week alone, we're going to have a review for The Offer, the first 3 episodes of The Offer, which is like the Godfather Paramount Plus show. Yeah. Duel. We'll have our TV mega episode that comes out with all of our TV reviews. Moon Knight. We've
been Moon Knight episode
Moon
5
Knight for so long, because we got
caught up.
We caught up.
Excuse me.
About a month ago.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to actually like catch up with
the audience,
and actually hopefully
see how it ends.
Hopefully it gets better.
Yeah, it turns a page for us,
Yeah.
But there's lots to listen to. Anthony mentioned it earlier. We have our interview with the Disney Nature Polar Bear directors Alistair Fothergill and Jeff Wilson that you could catch right now. Really nice guys, really passionate about what they do. And
just sounds like a legend person.
It literally
Santa Claus.
Yeah, Alistair Fothergill. Yeah.
Have you heard of?
It sounds like exactly like something out of a nursery rhyme or like a fable, like Alistair Fothergill.
The myth of Alistair Fothergill. Yeah. Both of them, again, I think he could get away with it because he's British. Yeah. So when you hear his accent and then hear him introduce himself, I'm like, man, I'm talking to a man that has
oldest time
traveled around the world. He has seen things. He's seen things in the world that no man has ever seen before, and I think his name suits that for sure.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen a polar bear, and he's seen a polar bear.
Seen a polar bear, yeah. One thing though, like I know you both watched the polar bear doc, and Anthony and I, we had a discussion on it. It's one of those things for me, like when we were talking about it, it's that I'm always fascinated by how they get their footage. And this is like, you have to also think, like we were talking about how, Top Gun has like 800 hours of footage shot for it. Where with these guys, they literally have years worth of footage of like the most like boring ass thing. And I want to ask you guys, like, what would a documentary on your own lives look like if somebody was to shoot it over like the last 5 or 6 years?
Just be me in my room watching movies and playing games.
Yeah.
It's pretty depressing.
That sounds like a warning campaign.
A warning campaign?
Like remember those campaigns that we'd see like for like smoking growing up? It's like, what's wrong with him? Oh, he
Yeah,
smokes.
he smokes. Yeah,
And he's just like some guy dead on the
It'd be like a
couch?
single shot, just at the door of my room, and it's just the camera slowly zooming in.
Yeah.
and I just have my controller in my
Are you
hand.
aging at the same time?
Yeah, I think I'm aging right now.
But like, are you like? Is the doc like? Is it like slow as it slowly pulls in?
The trailer is like that. The trailer
Oh,
is like- the
that's
trailer for
good.
the
That's good. I
documentary
like that.
And it's got like a voice over it that like you'd see like in a Steven Spielberg movie, like he was a single man sitting in his room, and then it was just me just sitting there on the couch, and then the only thing that's lighting me is the reflection of my TV.
Yeah, and you just and I can see like a close up of like the reflection off of your glasses of
Yeah.
what you're playing and things like that.
Yeah.
And then,
But it turns
and then you
out-
also see like wrinkles start forming.
But then when it gets closer into my glasses, the reflection is just me watching my documentary.
Shit.
Oh, I thought it was.
Then
gonna
it
be
cuts
like,
to black.
like Poltergeist,
Shahbaz.
like a hand coming out
Oh.
of the TV to grab Shay. And
That's
bring-
your documentary.
That's Anthony. That's Anthony.
My
documentary.
documentaries. You know, you've ever watched Fear and Loathing in Las
Oh,
Vegas?
Oh God,
That's-
man.
So how much
my-
coke is in your documentary?
It's 5 years straight.
Oh,
Okay,
that's a good amount.
I like it. Mine's somewhere in the middle. Mine's somewhere in the
Fear
middle.
and loathing in my bedroom.
Yeah, that's somewhere in the middle for that one. Let's get into the news this week. We have some great stories, but we have to do it since
I was
we're back
gonna
together.
say
We got to do it. I wanted to scare you
It sounded
guys.
like he was missing it.
No. I wanted to make sure you guys were paying
There's
attention.
someone in the car right now that's like, they're like doing the beeps.
I wanted to make sure because this is the first one that we've done together in a while. So
Yeah.
let's be ready. Let's get into the news. Like we've never missed a beat.
Dude, I was so confused with exactly what was happening.
I just
at that
wanted to make
moment.
sure. I
was
wanted to
like-
make sure.
Yeah, Anthony's like brain was.
And he's like, man, I can't wait for this part of my
Dude, I
documentary.
almost
People are
blew
going to freak
out
out.
the window right now.
Well, hold on to that outrage because you may need it next. Netflix loses 200,000 subscribers in Q1. Predicts loss of 2 million more in Q2. This is coming from Jennifer Moss of Variety. Netflix lost 200,000 subscribers in Q1 and expects to lose another 2 million in the current second quarter. The streamer said in its first quarter 2022 earnings release on Tuesday. This marks the first time Netflix has lost subscribers during a quarter in 10 years. Netflix said that not accounting for the losses in Russia, where the streamer cut services over the country's invasion of Ukraine, it would have added 500,000 subscribers in Q1. Netflix cites both increased competition and password sharing, which the streamer is looking to monetize as drivers of the subscriber loss. Netflix execs previously said the streamer intends to spend around $18 billion on content this year. So we've heard a lot about Netflix this week in the news and the stock market with things that are going on the animation side and shows being canceled and executives being laid off and all of this stuff. We're going to try and make sense of a bunch of it. Shay, I'm going to get you to start us off here. What's going on at Netflix right now?
buddy. First of all, this is one of those things that I'm actually surprised has happened. I felt like it was one of those things that we kept thinking would happen, but it actually wouldn't happen. But to see it finally actually come out is crazy, and it's a sign of the times. It is too reminiscent of Blockbuster.
They flew too close to the sun.
They flew way too Netflix.
Icarus?
Yes, Icarus flew way too close to the sun.
Blockbuster, sorry, I'm just confirming. Blockbuster is not a Greek god?
It is, but if you're Greek, right into the show.
Okay,
let us know.
just confirm with us, yes.
Just to confirm your mythology. Here's the thing with Netflix, they dedicated so much time to their original content, but we all signed up for Netflix at that time for not original content because obviously it didn't exist, right?
No.
So as the original content started to come out, we're like, oh, this is kind of nice, sure, but we'll get to that in a bit. Let me keep watching the stuff that you guys keep putting on here. Now it's pretty much 90%, it feels like, original content,
Right?
And almost none of it sticks. Some of it's really good, but none of it sticks long enough, I think, that you want to keep coming back. Or at least if it is, it's not worth the price that you're paying anymore. To be paying nearly $20 a month, and
More than $20 a month.
more
for
than
us,
$20
yeah.
a month, especially if you're in Canada. And I understand the whole password sharing thing is kind of confusing, I guess, but even if you do it the right way, like most people now live in double family houses. Their mom and dad aren't together anymore. So mom's house has your Netflix account and dad's house has a Netflix account. What are you going to now start charging dad or mom more? Like password sharing.
It's the divorced child's fee. Yeah.
Password sharing is going to make them go even further into loss. More people, the people that weren't paying for Netflix already that are password sharing are not all of a sudden going to be like, well, I need to know what happens on the next season of Is It Cake? So let me go ahead and subscribe.
Was it cake?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and subscribe to Netflix. That's not going to happen, Netflix. I'm sorry, but you guys are predicting a loss of $2 million. That will definitely come. You need to start
in just the second quarter.
You need to start investing differently. The shows that you're pumping out went from quality to now just quantity.
Right. And I think Netflix is what we look at when it comes to just content. And we see again, and I think what Netflix does so well is that yes, it has given a lot of shows and movies to voices that we wouldn't have traditionally seen in a normal studio system, which is amazing. And that's when you get shows that really resonate with people. But for every show like that, you'll get a million other shows of just that feels like filler. And what Netflix, the promise of Netflix back when it was first, coming out to the world, was that it's this aggregator of like just shows and movies that we love, right? And now it's not that anymore because all the studios have taken their content back for their own platforms, which is very reminiscent of what kind of cable and what the cable world used to be before people started cutting the cord.
Mm-hmm.
Now here we are. Anthony, where are you with what's going on with Netflix?
Personally, I'm very, very close to canceling my Netflix subscription. I want to be part of this.
You want to be part of
revolution. You know what?
The Netflix revolution.
It's the argument saying that especially with this password thing, because it seems like the password is a big factor in Netflix's next couple of quarters.
Yeah.
So they're going to really implement that in I think the United States and Canada, and I'm not a big fan of that. And to even argue that, we're losing money because you're sharing passwords is bullshit, because you've been making record money with people sharing passwords for the past however many years, 10 years.
Yeah, like this is your first quarter of this happening. Yeah. Like, is it? Now people are sharing their password more? No, it's more inconvenient to share your password of anything now.
In the past 3 years, your original content has been driven up, and you haven't had, we'll say, a good enough title to actually drive new customers in. Because you had a lot of customers. You monopolized the market because you were the only one there. But now there's HBO Max, there's Disney Plus, there's so many other options to go to, and your original content that you've been driving for the past 3 years hasn't sustained enough to keep your customer base there. And that's where, like, truthfully, Stranger Things, The Crown, I can maybe, if I have 10 fingers, I can probably name 10.
Sorry, did you say if you have 10 fingers? I just want to confirm.
Some people might not have 10 fingers.
You're right. You're right.
You lose the one finger.
That's true.
Oh, wait, what?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
They chopped off the pinky. But you have 10 fingers. I could probably name 10 original shows that are on Netflix, and that's it. That I would watch.
Yeah.
And everything else, out in the garbage.
And
but like Shay was it last week? You mentioned about a show about Is It Cake or Not?
Yeah.
You gave that production $1 million to make this dumbass show because you want to be like a TLC meets HBO meets
Food Network. Yeah.
You want to make.
They don't know what they're trying to be
now.
now.
This whole thing, and you just don't know where your clientele is.
But that's the thing though, because Netflix, again, if we look at the numbers of what's trending in these countries, it's the most random stuff, and that's why with shows like The Office leaving in the States and Friends leaving and things like that, that's a big loss for Netflix, because people would go to Netflix, and I think like us too, we go to Netflix to watch, comfort shows, things that aren't Netflix originals, but things that are on Netflix because they're available there. And I'm guilty of that. I watched Friends and The Office and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and all these shows, Seinfeld, on Netflix because that's the streaming service that had the rights to it.
Right.
And it was just so easy to do that. And even Fresh Prince back in the day was on Netflix for a while. Yeah. Now it's on Crave, right? Yeah. But it's like you're having all of this stuff there, and then once that leaves, people are like, well, I don't really care for anything else.
Yeah.
And the promise of Netflix has been outdone by everybody else now, because Netflix was, oh my God, Netflix wasn't the first streaming service, but they were the first streaming service for a lot of people. You know, they were that streaming service that people would go to and be like, oh, I just signed up for Netflix. Oh my God, they have this movie and this show.
I feel like the first legitimate one.
You know, they were the first one that actually hit. Because before that, a lot of people were just like, oh yeah, there's video on demand and stuff like that. But that was still pay per use, right? And then now it's like, no, you have the service all encompassing $7.99. I remember signing up for Netflix back in the day. Again, vastly different service that they offered in terms of the programming, but that's what it was. Yeah. And then now with everyone kind of taking back their own shows, it's like, what else am I staying here for? Because your Netflix content as well too, your Netflix originals, Stranger Things is coming out next month. That's going to be a shotgun blast of episodes in one day, and then no one's going to talk about it after a week. Like, I honestly think, and again, I may be in the minority for this, but I think it would help Netflix a lot if they went to some original programming being one new show a week, because that's 100%. Driving a conversation all week. I was watching a great video on YouTube where they were talking about how when Russian Doll, the first season came out, it was a big phenomenon. Everyone was talking about it. And that was more than the first season of, my God, why am I blanking on the HBO show? The one that you love.
Oh, Succession?
Succession, right? But now Succession has exploded and is like the poster child for HBO. And the second season of Russian Doll just came out, and I feel like no one's talking about it.
Yep. It took a really long time for it to come out, too.
You know, and that's the thing where it's like you have something where when you have a weekly show, be it The Mandalorian or Moon Knight or Succession, you're having a conversation in between then where you're just allowing people to catch up on the season that they've watched so they can start watching it live. And you're also allowing it just to grow naturally, where when you have something like Stranger Things or any other Netflix original where it's just all out at once, you're just like, that's great, but also there's no conversation to be had because literally it's a minefield on social media afterwards because spoilers galore for the whole season are there. You'll see op-eds on thoughts on the ending, and it's like you're bombarded by the ending and you haven't even gone to the beginning yet. You know, it's just a loss because you're giving everything out at once and you're not allowing a natural build up or anticipation to be, because it's all there.
And not to defend Netflix here, but I think the reason truly why they do it is because they have so much content.
They do.
They have so much content coming out at once that they just know that if they did it weekly, all their other shit would also get lost. So they're almost like, in a way, not okay, but they are okay with it being like, we're aware this conversation is going to last a day.
They're right. But I think they see that when they are in the green or in the black with subscribers going up and view time going up, I don't think they care. No. But now that something's actually affecting them, they should look and be like, caring. You need to start treating your shows better. You need to start marketing them earlier. That's another thing that I was hearing this week, that people are like, yeah, Netflix doesn't like marketing until like a month before.
No, they don't.
And then nothing afterwards. And like you need time to build up the stuff, right?
And they need to go back to making quality material instead of shock value material, because a lot of the stuff they've been doing now is for the memes. It's for just the internet conversation, and then it dies.
It's literally
even their docs. Their docs lately haven't been that amazing. I used to love Netflix documentaries, but I can't think of a single one recently that I was like, yeah, that was really damn good.
No,
it's been a while.
I feel like so many of their docs now are, again, because they're so many of their things are based off an algorithm, based on numbers. They're like, hey, people really like these murder mystery docs, so we're going to greenlight 100 of them without really feeling like there's one that really like hits home. Right. You know what I mean? And it's like, people love cooking shows. We're going to greenlight 100 cooking shows. Yeah. It's like, but it's just quantity all the time.
Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. If that algorithm, they just go by the algorithm. Yeah. And I think this is hurting them because their Thanos is rising again. Yeah. And do you know what their Thanos is? Pirating.
Thanos? Oh, Thanos. Okay, yeah. Go on.
Their Thanos pirates in Hollywood is pirates, and pirating is coming back because it's.
Are you bringing it back? Well, it's not like you're like I'm the one.
No, raise the black flag, Daniel. How did I have this in here?
Because a lot of people will pirate their stuff, and it's so much easier too. It's like there are websites.
It's already digital.
There's websites that are very similar to Netflix where you just push a button and it's free. There. And
you just got to watch a couple porn ads, but then after that, you get right to it.
That's just the pre-feature entertainment. You know what I mean?
That's one of the shows are coming out with.
The reason we all like Netflix because it was at a reasonable price and you were getting good content and
it just worked.
And you're like, shit, I want to help these people. I don't want to pirate stuff anymore. I'm willing to pay You don't hear about this in the music world. The music world, subscription services work.
They've accepted their loss already in the music world. They're like, we're never going to be the music industry of the pre-2000s.
Yeah.
And they've adapted to that at least.
So,
you know?
Musicians are still getting paid good money. People get money. Like, I know all of it is money, but musicians, they're making money. You can clearly see. And they're having fun putting their content on these subscription services, Apple Music, Spotify, all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're great examples of how subscription services work. Their prices haven't gone up. I don't think they've ever gone up.
I haven't seen an increase in music subscriptions. Have you? Did Spotify go up?
No, I feel like everything's always stayed at the $10
$10 a month.
If anything, if they do ever offer tiers that are more, it's because they'll be like, we have higher fidelity here, or we have this, or we have that. But like Apple Music, when they introduced higher fidelity and Dolby Atmos and whatever, still kept the same price.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we've spoken about, I think just a couple weeks ago on the show. I think it's so ridiculous to me that we pay for higher fidelity on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's so bizarre that because we have a 4K TV, we have to pay more for the content that we
like a
stream
luxury
on
tax.
it. You know what I mean? It is a luxury tax, and it's like it's silly. Like, you have the content available then, and their 1080p streaming isn't the best. Like, it's a noticeable difference.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you doing this? Like, it's such a nickel and diming on something for no reason. Like, you're making your content at that quality. Offer it at that
Daniel,
quality.
We're making shows for you.
I don't care if Is It Cake is in 8K. Like, why?
Yeah.
It's like, but we're making content for you. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that content leads to what? It doesn't lead to more viewers because, isn't it cake or
Is it?
is it cake or isn't it?
That's a deeper version of the
Dude,
show.
I thought you were dropping
it
like a quote on us, like, but isn't it cake or isn't it a
Marie Antoinette once said, let them eat cake.
isn't it a cake or is it not? Like,
they need to pace themselves right now, and they're like,
too much of a tech company. Netflix is treating their stuff too much like a tech company and not a studio.
yeah. And we've watched Dropout, and we've watched
Dopesick and
Dopesick
Severance.
and Severance. Well, I was just referring to Dropout because it's here. I was just taking the analogy of Dropout, where here's this idea, let's go through it, and it busts at the end. And that's a lot of like technology people who hit that $1 billion idea, and they make the money, they get the people. They usually crash and burn.
Yeah.
Except, what's his name from Facebook, Zuckerberg.
I think he's been dragged over the coals, rightly so,
but
a
it's
lot.
that mentality.
Yeah.
That go.
You're not invincible. You're not invincible at all.
Going to burn and crash, and people are just gonna fucking say no.
But we also have to, like, one thing that isn't mentioned in this little article here at the moment was there's talks about bringing in an ad-based version of Netflix. What do you guys think about that? Like, it's a cheaper tier, but it has ads. Netflix to me right now, by the way, feels like a giant ad on its own.
Well, yeah, because as soon as you finish something, like, hey, how about this? How about Isn't It Cake?
Yeah.
Isn't It Cake?
Isn't it cake?
This is Anthony's spinoff. Isn't It Cake?
Yeah.
It's not. Is it cake? Isn't it? Are you sure it's not?
Are you sure?
Take a bite. Oh, it's a purse. Ads on Netflix. What would the ads be?
That's
like, are they just like pre-rolls, mid-rolls, like for
What are
Netflix
the
original?
ads?
I'm assuming it would be for Netflix, but then Netflix could just do that anyway with their own content.
Yeah. And
Or are they going to sell ad space to other places?
Other streamers?
Other streamers? No.
Disney Plus?
No,
imagine?
but why not? You know what I mean? Like, if that's an option, depends on how much the ads are, but
I don't know.
would you save $10 a month on Netflix if you had ads before and after a show?
Would it be 4K
Yeah.
and Dolby Vision,
Everything.
and I can share my account with people?
This sounds all of a sudden no. Like,
and then I don't have to pay for it? No.
No, like the ads seems right. I don't like the password thing. The password bothers me, but
Yeah, we know a lot of streamers, and I think Disney Plus too. All the streamers will have an option for an ad version of their platform, and I think that's fine to offer it as an option.
I like the ad version. I just don't like the password.
Yeah,
I feel like you're not losing money. You're making money. You have 250 million subscribers around the world, and you're telling me you're losing money on password? Stop making shitty shows, and you'll get money. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I think Netflix for so long has felt invincible.
Yeah.
And there's this line again. This is a deep cut line, but there's a line in
cake.
No, but there's a line in like Iron Man 2 where they're like, if you could make God bleed, you'd make people cease to believe in them. And I think that's kind of where Netflix is right now.
But he had to do it like in his accent.
If you could make God bleed,
there we go.
People would not believe in him.
That's like Kill Bill when she gets the sword.
You know what I mean? It's like
On your journey,
you
meet God.
Yeah,
you'll cut him.
I thought he Hanzo blade.
Yeah. Like it's that exact thing. Like Netflix is wounded right now. So every other streamer, you best believe, are looking at Netflix right now of what not to do and to offer stuff and to incentivize people to come over and be like all again. I think of all the streamers that have come out, and if we look at the last 5 or 6 years, I don't think we've seen a streamer, again, they're new. Disney has just been going crazy with giving you a reason to stay on Disney Plus. Yeah. With every show that ends, 2 weeks later, another one's going to begin for you, and you're going to be invested. Regardless if the quality or the stories is engaging, it's still original content that people are excited about, or it's going to land with somebody, right? That first year Disney Plus, it was shallow, but also it was the pandemic. Yeah. But as soon as 2021 started, and we started off with WandaVision, it didn't stop.
And Stars, or whatever the 18 plus area was.
Yeah, and it's like they haven't stopped, and they've also been attracting top tier talent to their projects as well too. Yeah. HBO Max is another one that is struggling in the sense of getting original shows on there. But we know they're going to be coming because they've announced, hey, we're doing this original series. We're doing a Penguin show, an Arkham Asylum show. Mm-hmm. We're doing this. We know.
And they still have HBO shows.
And they still have HBO shows. But even Netflix is like, what are you doing right now? Yeah. We know there's probably 1,000 shows dropping on Netflix tomorrow. Today. But we don't know about any of them or really care about any of them.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say HBO Max, their original programming is just going to get better and better.
Yeah, it is.
Because HBO picks and chooses really good scripts and really great storytellers, and Netflix doesn't. They have a handful of them, the 10 that I was going to mention, and then they cancel some of them.
Netflix will cancel shows after 2 seasons.
They canceled Mindhunter, a David Fincher produced really good show.
Yeah.
They canceled it because the algorithm wasn't right.
People were like, well, people aren't watching it as much. It was like, yeah, but why are you letting that dictate the fan base that loves this? Yeah. That, and it's like, I know I just kind of, that may have sounded like a Snyder bro kind of commentary, like, yeah, but it's not the fan base. No, but like Mindhunter is a great show, and I feel like, again, if you treated it like a show that every week you would lead into the next mystery, and Mindhunter ended on some great cliffhangers, it's like,
these are
build your show, treat your show with respect, and let people fall in love with it. Just don't throw it out and let it die and out to pasture all the time.
When you go on Netflix now as well, like you'll know that something's dropped recently, like a new show. Let's just say, whatever.
Oh, there was an Abercrombie Finch documentary.
Sure,
let's say that was the banner that I recently saw.
But if I go on it, I probably might not even see that. Like I might not even see.
I've never heard of that before.
Like, but you might see it. Daniel might not see it. I might see it. Like it. That's what I also don't get. Like because there's so much shit dropping, it goes missed. Like I recently, they also just closed down pretty much most of their animation department as well. Like, was animation making them suffer? Like, was that another thing that like
cost too much money?
And again, this is after the conversation that we just had about animation. Writers not being paid enough, animators not being paid enough, and at the same time, animation stopped being that medium that's just for kids. So it's crazy for them to be like so tone deaf and being like, yeah, we're shutting down our animation department or most of it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still around, but it's like, what is it? But
they canceled a lot of their shows.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And they fired executives. And it's like, yeah, I get you guys are scrambling, but that's a problem when you're treating your business as a tech company and not a studio where you're building these relationships with people. Because again, there's that old just kind of studio just belief where it's like when we were talking about even like the last couple of years, oh, this person signed a deal with Netflix or this studio or this. We haven't seen Netflix be the place that people have signed with in a while. We've been seeing a lot of Tom Hanks first look deal with Apple, this person first look deal with Apple, this person with HBO Max, this person with HBO, this person with Disney. Like we're seeing a lot of those streamers, of the up and comers, signing these deals, and I think a lot of talent is going to be leaving Netflix because of that.
I want to just take a minute here,
just 1 minute,
just a 1 minute to gush about how good Apple TV Plus is.
Yeah, strike Netflix while they're down, eh?
It really, I need to
give him the Hattori Hanzo sword right now.
Just because, you know, and it's a crime that more people don't have Apple TV Plus, even though they probably do. Because
they probably do. They just don't know about it. Yeah.
But yes, the barrier of entry is so confusing with Apple TV Plus, and they gotta make that easier. But man, the content that's on there is content that I'm gonna remember for years to come.
In the 2.5 years that they've been out, so they launched the week after Disney Plus did in 2019, November 2019. They launched before Disney Plus. They launched on November 1st. They launched on November 1st. They dropped so many shows that have also won awards. Apple already has a Best Picture award. Like, are you kidding me?
They have an Oscar.
Like that, they beat Netflix to the punch on that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like with The Morning Show drawing top tier talent, top tier talent. Ted Lasso, which is I think just taking the world by storm. You have Severance that's taken the world by storm. Like Apple's killing it with their original content because I think they know they don't have the quantity yet, but they have the quality.
But one thing, if I can advise Apple, and
please advise away.
If you work for Apple right now, or you work for the studios and all those things, you need to pace yourself.
Yeah,
you need to pace yourself.
Yes,
continuing what you're doing for the next 10 years. Don't have to continuously come out with new things because the world that technology lives in, which is continuously pumping out products and this and this.
Yeah.
The world also, and it becomes a drug because you just can't get off it. You gotta keep going. Just pace yourself.
Keep the pace slow.
Yeah. After COVID, people don't give a fuck anymore. They care less about that world and more about just chilling and relaxing. And the idea that, you know, with social media and with Netflix and all these things that are just bombarding you with a lot of stuff that you need to keep doing, keep going, keep being on top, be the best. And you just get depressed and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You just need to slow it down.
Yeah.
And you can see it with Apple TV Plus. You can see it with HBO Max. They're just chilling. And here's Tokyo Vice. Okay, there's 7 episodes. Great show. Here's Severance. Weekly episode.
Yeah.
Really good show. Just don't get like Netflix, where Netflix it's adding to the fuel of the world where we continuously have to be always 9 steps ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
We're trying to live in the future without actually getting to the future. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You already live in the future, though.
Well, I can because I'm not from this time.
Yeah, that's why you already seen Isn't It Cake?
Yeah.
You already seen it. What's it about?
Isn't it cake? Question mark?
Isn't it cake? You're just walking around with it. Oh my god, it is a cobra. Oh my goodness.
But it's like, isn't it? Or isn't it?
Isn't it?
No, but I
You know what I'm
think
trying to say? Like that world that we live in.
Anthony's 100% right. Because again,
100%.
when you're dealing with tech companies now in the world of creating shows and movies, they approach it from a tech company viewpoint and perspective, where you need to treat, and I think that's one of the things that Apple struggled with at the beginning. And we had heard the stories that, you know, Apple's kind of ruffling a little bit of feathers in the Hollywood world because I think they think that, you know, throwing money at things is how you do things. And it helps, but you also have to build relationships with people.
Yeah.
And that's why I think in this last year, especially, that you've seen a lot more people sign with Apple because I think they figured their shit out, where Netflix is still, they probably figured it out, but they probably figured out we could also just keep pumping out stuff and think that us pumping out 1 million original shows a year is sustainable. It's not sustainable at all. It's hurting your platform, and the things that are on your platform are lost. If I open up Apple TV Plus right now, or HBO Max, or Disney Plus, you'll see the most important things on the top banner always. They will literally be like, watch this. Like, you need to watch this.
This is new, watch this.
This is new, watch this. Like, it's easy to find everything, where Netflix pumps everything except for what you want in your face. You know what I mean?
One thing I wish, and I think all studios need to do, is work on their UI design.
Yeah.
A lot. Even like Disney Plus, and there's a lot of, even with Disney Plus, trying to find something sometimes can be difficult.
Who do you think is the close to nailing it right now?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Yeah. Because Disney Plus is just kind of like, the icons aren't as big as Netflix, so it's like I could see more, which I really like. The Continue Watching is there. What's recently added is there. I'm just trying to think what else. I think Prime is the worst.
Prime's the worst.
Absolute worst.
Apple TV Plus is a lot better now, but it's still, I think Apple has that thing of like, let's make something that visually looks good, but like intuitively, this isn't the best thing to navigate through.
I think the problem with Apple TV Plus is, especially if you're using it on an Apple TV and you go to the Apple TV app, it looks too similar to every other tab that's there.
Exactly.
So sometimes you're like, oh shit, I'm an Apple TV Plus, and am I about to buy this?
Yeah.
Or
like, what is this?
Do I already own this?
It's where design doesn't.
It doesn't.
help.
Yeah. Beautiful design, but it's not intuitive.
Not intuitive. Crave is. I like Crave. I know you guys don't use Crave, but
Crave's alright.
is pretty simple. Like they have the banners at the top. This is what's recently added.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
I think with Crave though, is because they have different networks as well in there. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Like, wait, do I Showtime's here? Do I?
Yes.
Is this part of what I? And Crave also has a stupid thing of I think you'd only have it on one device at a time.
Crave's version of finding out what you're linked to is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I have about 5 or 6 TVs in the house, and all of them have an Apple TV or something attached to it. So if I go downstairs to my basement to watch a show or a movie on Crave, I have to then hit a button, go to the website, hit manage, hit this, and then like remove the device and then add.
Oh, you have location services off, or you have you have to enable
something.
You can't block your stuff.
Site tracking.
Site tracking. Like you have to turn that on. It's like
oh
why?
My God, okay, like why can't you just do it like everybody else where it's sequential watching, or if everyone's watching at the same time, then stop me, sure, but let me have it on as many devices I want, because I have phones, iPads, watches that I can watch on.
It's Crave is one of those things, same like Prime. You need to totally nuke that app and totally make a brand new one. Like Crave and Prime.
Crave though.
No, but they need, but in terms of like that type of stuff, because that's the type of stuff that's like built into the
base
of it, the foundation of it, where it's like, guys, like you can't be having these shitty things. Like this is not how the world works now.
Yeah.
You have to make it accessible for people, and you're the most expensive one right now, so get better.
Yeah. Prime is probably, like you said, the worst. Like there was a new show called Outer Range starring Josh Brolin, and I didn't know about it. I didn't know it was coming out, and I had to like search for it in Amazon Prime. It should be like the first thing you see. It's right now. It's their main series.
It's the one main thing,
on Prime. So why aren't you showing that to me in the beginning?
That reminded me too when One Night in Miami came out. It wasn't anywhere on the main page. I'm like, this movie just came out today. Why isn't it everywhere? It's not even for Oscars. But moving on to the next news story, we spoke a lot about Netflix. Let's talk about what other studios are up to right now. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse heads to summer 2023. Sony dates Madam Web, Equalizer 3, among others, for release changes. This is coming from Anthony D'Alessandro of Deadline.
Did you think it was me?
I did for a second.
This is coming just from Anthony. Sony's animated sequel to the Oscar-winning movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, is moving from October 7th this year to June 2nd, 2023. The news is breaking just before the studio's presentation at CinemaCon next week. Meanwhile, the Pixar sequel, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 2, I wish they called it something else, maybe they still will, is dated for March 29, 2024. In addition, Sony has dated their Spider-Man spin-off, Madam Web, from filmmaker S.J. Clarkson, for July 7th, 2023. The pick starring Sydney Sweeney and Dakota Johnson. There's also the Denzel Washington and director Anton Fuqua reteam The Equalizer 3 on September 1st, 2023. I had no idea they were doing a third film in the series. The studio's Korean War movie, Devotion, from director J.D. Dillard and starring Jonathan Majors and Glenn Powell, is set to roll out on October 14th with limited runs, expanding on October 21st and going wide on October 28th. So a lot of changes coming on the Sony front. I feel like Sony's always out studio that has a bunch of release date shifts happening all the time. Every couple of weeks we'll hear something shifts. This is the second delay now for Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, because it was supposed to come out like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, April.
It was supposed to come out in April 2022, and then they pushed it to October, and now it's back to when is it, June 2nd of next year.
When was it announced? Wasn't it last year that it was announced?
It was announced in 2020.
Man.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
It was announced in the fall of 2020, I
3
believe.
years have passed.
Yeah.
It's so
and the first one was
wild.
2018.
Yeah.
So now this is going to be 5 years almost in between sequels.
Really?
Crazy. What is time anymore, man? It doesn't matter.
We need to slow down.
It doesn't matter. Time should slow down.
We need to slow down. But
what do you think of this, Anthony?
Well, I think, again, going back to my whole pacing argument, the longer the better it is, right? I think that's what one of the directors said.
That's what I've been told.
The longer, well, not always, Daniel, but the longer a studio or a production team has time to make
Yes.
a movie,
the longer the runway
usually is better.
The
better outcome.
Yes.
But
I don't like how slow and uncomfortable you were saying that too. Is it a cake? Are you sure?
Sounds like a show I would make.
Isn't it cake?
Yeah.
Wait, are you trying to confuse the players though? Like, you're just walking like, isn't it cake? Bro?
Isn't it cake?
Isn't it cake?
No, I would like you would
start
eat
eating
it. It would taste like steak.
That's your hand, Anthony.
Oh.
It's in the shape of a cake, right?
Yeah.
But it'd be a steak, right?
There was an episode where they did have a steak.
And then I would say, "Isn't it cake?"
Yeah.
It looks like it. And then they're like, "No." But then I would say, "Yes, we were able to like conduct some sort of scientific experiment to get the cake to taste like steak, but it's
Netflix
still
gave us
cake 'cause we didn't
$200 million
use
for
steak."
Sir,
this
this is a
episode.
Wendy's. You need to leave, please. And they'd be like, "Oh, sorry, my bad."
All right.
Netflix is hearing this right now.
Yeah.
Send
And send him a
Send
jet.
him a helicopter.
Book him.
Oh, a jet. Send him the jet from Top Gun.
Oh God.
but yeah, the longer the better in terms of, and I think that's what the director said that, right? Chris Miller, and more time to have fun.
More time
to have fun.
Yeah, and you also, I think back to what Nolan said a couple years ago too, when he was talking about his Batman trilogy, and he's like, the benefit we had when making that trilogy is that we had the luxury of time, because a lot of studios now, it's like we've seen now, it's like movie next 3 movies this year, or this show and this movie and this, and it's like it's content overload where it's like, yeah, you could take some time and really work on something and give it time to breathe, and then introduce the next thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't give the audience exactly what they want.
Make them want it.
Make them want it.
Yeah, but maybe don't go as long as Stranger Things. Again, I know COVID played a factor into that for sure, but
yeah,
3 years is a long time for a show.
In terms of the Equalizer 3,
Yeah,
Daisy Ridley's supposed to be in it.
I saw her teasing it on her Instagram. Yeah, interesting. Did you guys see the second one?
Yes, with
Pedro Pascal.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a little bit of it.
Yeah, I saw that one.
People
Not good.
love that series.
I really liked the first one.
Yeah.
The second one was not the greatest. There's some moments in it for sure, but I'm hoping the third one is a bit better.
The first one was good. Second one, I was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a TV series, I used to watch The Equalizer as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
On A&E.
You and Rob Reiner from Wolf of Wall Street.
The fucking Equalizer,
I wasn't
Jordan.
that old.
No, I'm saying you and him. Like, you and him were together.
Because in Wolf of Wall Street, he watched it. And
I just remember it was on A&E. It was like from the 80s or something.
You used to watch it?
Some
Yeah.
British dude.
Did you watch it like a lot? Like, favorite
I
episode?
remember a couple of episodes, but like...
they also had that joke in it in Spider-Man. It was like, oh, they shot an episode of The Equalizer here in the 80s.
in No Way Home.
Yeah, in No Way Home.
Well, that's all we have to
Yeah,
say,
Shay, what do
folks.
you think of the Sony news?
Sucks. It just sucks. I mean, I wish. I'm surprised though. We're still getting more updates on Madam Web. Like, it's making it become more real.
I'm surprised this movie's happening. We're seeing set photos from Kraven the Hunter, which is supposed to come out in January.
Which is also surprising me that that's happening too. That's not coming out in January. There's no way.
Listen, man.
That's gonna get pushed back. For
You think
sure.
so?
Yeah, it has to. There's no
How
way.
certain are you?
I'm like 85% confident that Kraven the Hunter is gonna get pushed.
Are
There's
you-
no way that they're gonna be able to meet a January deadline.
Are you willing to bet a burger on it?
Well, I'm fasting, so I can't.
And when it comes out, dummy.
Well, I can't think about food right now.
He's going to be fasting.
How insensitive are you at
Shay's
this moment?
you're allowed
fasting for the
thinking
next
about food, though.
5 months.
Yeah, I'm gonna not stop fast.
Wait, is January in 5 months? No, it's not.
No. I don't know.
Time needs to slow down, guys.
It's not even May yet, guys. It's not even the 5th month of this year.
Oh my god.
But yeah, burger
It's
bet.
7 months away.
Do the burger bet.
I wouldn't be surprised if they land this in January or February.
Well, like, what do you
I
need?
wouldn't be surprised either, but I don't think they will.
What visual effects do you need for Kraven?
Well, we don't even know what the movie's about yet, man. We don't even know what's in this movie.
Well, he's a hunter.
Okay, that's there we go.
So January.
January. Yeah, my
That's
bad.
January.
I rescind my.
I think about hunting in January.
I feel like they need more time, and knowing Sony, and they're notorious for delays for everything.
Yes,
they
you're right.
Usually just delay stuff because they'll stick to it for as long as they can, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, Kraven the Hunter is going to be a March film or like April or whatever." They'll push
Yeah.
it back a little bit.
But do you think it's first 3 months of next year? January, February, March.
yeah, sure. Yeah. First 3 months is doable. Yeah, I think as we get closer and closer to it, it'll be a bit more obvious.
Yep.
But January, I can't see it landing.
January is a good month. If it could land January, it's a good month for
If it
Sony.
could, it'll be great for them.
Because it gets busy next year very fast. With stuff.
And you want to be the first out of the gate.
I don't even know right now what's really competing with it.
Yeah, but when you look at February, I think that's when the Marvels is coming out, and like you have a bunch of stuff early on already next year.
Yeah.
It's going to start loading up fast. Speaking of the movies, let's look ahead at what the theaters are going to be offering us in the next little bit. AMC Entertainment to install laser projectors at 3,500 U.S. auditoriums in major upgrade deal with Cineonic rolls out through 2026. Is it Cineonic, right?
Yeah, Cineonic.
Cineonic.
Don't ask me.
Cineonic. This is coming from Jill.
Damn it, Anthony,
Damn it.
no.
This is coming from Jill Goldsmith, a Deadline. We also got an email about this, which was really funny. They're like, yeah, Daniel, guess what? we just made a deal with AMC. I'm like, oh,
thank you.
Congratulations, guys. I was so happy for them. Excuse me. AMC Entertainment is planning its first major upgrade since the transition to digital, announcing a deal with Cineonic to roll out laser projectors to 3,500 of its U.S. auditoriums through 2026. The Laser at AMC initiative represents the significant acceleration of AMC's commitment to enhance the on-screen presentation, with improved picture contrast, maximum picture brightness, more vivid color, and signals a significant projection, and signals a significant AMC commitment to future of movie going. The company said, laser projection is also more environmentally friendly with less waste, including eliminating the need to replace xenon bulbs and significant reduction to energy usage. AMC already offers laser projection at its premium large format auditoriums, Dolby Cinema at AMC, Prime at AMC, and select IMAX at AMC Theatres, as well as its recent new build openings. AMC is the largest theater chain globally and has 950 locations with 10,500 screens worldwide. So this is a big change, the biggest change since the transition to digital, which I think was the last major.
I wonder when that was.
I want to say the 2010, 2011.
Right around
maybe?
the Avatar.
Yeah, or at least right
era.
after Avatar.
Yeah.
I think that's when they transitioned. We'll try and get a date on that. We always talk about what theaters need to do to stay modern and to offer the best picture quality. Anthony, what do you think about this deal with Cineonic?
I think it's too late.
Oh, Mike, I'm so sorry.
2026, and you're coming out with. By the time 2026 happens, something else is going to be around, like in terms of visual projection and all that. Like, so you're investing all this money. The thing with theaters is that they don't have. I don't know if they have a partnership with brands like Sony or LG or the people who are actually diving into building displays and actually making that technology. I feel like it's a little too late for. Digital projection, laser projection.
But laser is a new one though, right?
Has it been? Because I feel like laser's been around for the past 6-7 years.
Well, only in select cinemas though. But now they're making all of their screens going to be looking hopefully that good.
It's more of a conscious choice now.
Yeah, it's 100%. Like we're going to make
100%.
Everything be consistent, and I think that's where the consistency is key.
When you want to go to a theater, you want to get something that you can't get at home.
Right.
Other than the big screen, what can you give me? And I feel like they should have some sort of connection with these people who are building this technology. Because I feel like laser projection has been around for a good amount of time. And now you're going to invest it, which is great. At the end of it, it's great. Everyone will be able to get really good picture quality. But is that actually... Are you pushing theaters to the future in terms of what they can offer? Because by 2026, which is a long time from now, it's 4 years.
Yeah.
Something else will be around.
Yeah, it's possible.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to.
But I guess when you think of theaters, though, theaters aren't. They can't. There's no way to sustainably be on the cutting edge of technology all the time, because the next evolution is what we see in some screens in Asia, where it's actually LED screens, which people don't like, and I think that's the next evolution for theaters. But you lose some of the darkness that comes with being in the theater too, with that, right? Because it's just like a big TV screen. I'm looking at the transition to digital projectors, and AMC announced in March 30th, 2009. Yeah. So before Avatar came out, that they were going to start to transition to their then 309 theaters. And now they have how many theaters did they just say?
But for the laser,
They have 950 locations.
They also should shut down a lot of those locations. And I'm sorry to say that.
They have been. I think from what we've been hearing, they have been shutting down a lot of locations, and it sucks. It sucks. And I know what you're trying to say. I know you don't want people to lose their jobs, but do you?
Isn't it cake?
Oh boy,
no, but like
no. So this transition. So going back to the 2009 transition, they said that this would continue through 2012. So it's kind of similar timeline, 3 to 4 years. Again, a lot less screens back then for them too.
It's also you know that you can never at scale just grow exponentially like that.
Yeah,
you have to stagger it to be on the safe side of everything too. Imagine if one day for some reason Cineonic has a massive bug that wipes out all their projectors. Boom, you have all of a sudden now all these theaters who at once stop working.
Right.
Whereas once you stagger this out, you're a little bit more prepared for these kinds of things.
So we have some local theaters that do laser IMAX.
Yes, we do.
And it is beautiful and clear and always, I think, the most consistent.
It is noticeable.
It consistent in terms of brightness. And we've seen it, especially going to a lot of screeners. And again, this is such a first world problem for us. We know, especially in the mornings, the projectors aren't as warmed up. They're not as bright yet.
The bulbs are just kind of getting started.
And also there are some cinemas that just have darker screens because the projector is just darker or the bulb needs to be replaced. And hopefully the laser solution, at least for the States, is going to at least keep that consistent. I don't know what the evolution is next, but I think at least to get things on par across the board is a good step. And
there's always going to be a time where you have to make the hard choices and like get past that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It sucks. Like, yeah, I feel if you shut down theaters and to make room for more impactful theaters, it makes more sense.
Yeah, I don't think they do that.
Lose their jobs. It's just that's like you have to get over that hurdle.
Yeah, but if I'll be honest, like if I was working for AMC and they said, "Oh, we're going to close your theater because we want to make a better one," I'd be like, "Fuck you guys!" Like, I need a job though.
My theater is probably going to be closing just to.
Yeah, but you don't work there though.
I get that, but like, if no one's coming to the theater, what am I doing there? What's the business?
Yeah, but I think if a theater's staying open,
what's
it's
the closest
because it's
theater to you.
Oh, let me just give my address out to the listeners right now.
We have a Cineplex near us.
Yeah, we have 10 minutes away. But I'm saying though, like if a theater is able to stay open, I think it's because it's sustaining business, right? I think it's not like the needs of the many type of thing with the theater. I think this theaters could stay open because it's making money. Where if a theater is closing is because they're not making money.
There's an Alamo Alamo Draft House that I've gone to a few times now in the States, in Texas, that every time I've gone there, it's been empty.
Yeah.
And I always ask the theater workers there, I'm like, hey, like, do you guys ever really get busy? And they're like, no, not really, but we were also new. We've been there open for 2 years. I'm like, yeah, it's new, but like, you can't be this dead.
Yeah.
And I pray that when I go back again, it's still there.
Just a tumbleweed.
I love
going by.
I absolutely love that Alamo Draft House because it's so well new and it looks beautiful. And Alamo Draft House is a fantastic theater chain. But I worry, and like, they're not like Alamo Draft House isn't like cutting edge technology, but their screens are always consistent for me. Like every time I've gone and seen a movie, it's great. It's no Dolby Cinema, no IMAX or anything like that, but still they run off
a love of the movies.
Love of the movies, yeah. and I know for most people that doesn't really matter, but it works in some situations.
Yeah, but Anthony's also right in the sense where it's like if you're going to be doing this, like then it should always be like 100%.
100%.
You know, like good enough isn't good enough for theaters,
yes.
right?
No, I get that.
But
I agree.
I think with them, especially in their business, it's like we're getting by, so we can't change anything. You know,
we're really just getting by.
Here's the example. My theater that's close to me. I'm going to say Cineplex Vaughan.
Yeah,
the old Colossus. That theater's too big.
Yeah.
When they were thinking about that theater, they were like, "Oh, we're going to make this a whole event thing to go to." It is too big. You need to shut that down. Close it down, and then it sucks. Yes, people are going to get, let go and all that, and build a smaller and better one. There's
a more sustainable.
There's theaters that are huge. Like look at the AMC theater that are across from now. That was just a bunch of condos that are being built, but there are a lot of theaters out there that are very big for no reason.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's why, like, especially when AMC was here in Canada, you would see a Cineplex and AMC very close to one another, and you'd be like, why are you guys so close? Like, why are you cannibalizing each other's audience, right? And then AMC ended up dipping from Canada, and Cineplex was like, we're just going to take over those locations because they have more screens, and then we'll shut down our smaller one.
Yeah,
right?
But that was AMC's thing too, right? They were like, "Oh, we'll have 24 screens in a theater."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh wow, that sounds amazing." But then you'd see the screens, and you're like, "Oh, but why is this a screen? Like it's so tiny and it's so dingy."
It's because they didn't understand how much the internet would play a factor in their business.
They didn't.
100%.
They also
They're like, everyone's gonna come and watch a movie all the time.
Yeah, because this is the only way we're going to watch movies, and it's also, I think, what Netflix is struggling with now too, where it's like there's too much, like you went too big, and now people aren't caring anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So
you flew too close to the sun, as we have been saying all day.
that's
I think,
the old Blockbuster verbiage, you know.
I think movie theaters need to be 12 screens max. You don't need 24 screens in a theater. 12 is a great amount. Anything lower than that also is fine.
I think it depends where it is though. Like if you're in a hub, like if you're like downtown, I think it makes sense. Like at a Scotiabank theater, I think it makes sense. They have how many screens at that theater?
Like 14. I think.
Yeah, so like or Yonge and Dundas, where there's a bunch of screens there because you are in a hub. But if you're in the suburbs,
But yeah, that's still the amount.
But that's where you can
saying,
build
right?
those types of theaters.
Yeah, but then
You can't
we
build
also-
them in the city because there's no room.
again, but I get it. But also, then what happens when you build smaller cinemas? You're only going to be playing Marvel movies, and then the movies that people are trying to campaign to be seen in theaters, they're not going to be getting screens, right?
But that is the issue. You're
Right.
absolutely,
So
you're
that's
absolutely right.
that's the problem when we have smaller cinemas. They're only going to try and put things that they're going to guarantee money on, and that's what sucks. Like that's the cycle of it, though, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Like that's the cycle of this,
But
this,
isn't
right?
isn't that where the world? Isn't that how movies are going?
Yeah, but that's not going to help, is what I'm saying.
No, it's not going to help. But it sucks that it's like it's the worst thing possible. But yes, those smaller films, and we're going to get into box office in a bit, they don't pull in as much money. Now they're getting a bit better for sure.
Right.
But
just because they're not pulling as much money, though, I think doesn't mean they don't deserve to be seen on a screen, right?
definitely not what I'm trying to say. No,
I know, I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying in general, like a movie like The Northman, I don't think would have hit me as much if I watched it at home for the first
100%.
time.
And,
Right.
and
You know what I
that's the
mean?
thing. We want to see movies in theaters.
Right.
But we're also aware that the business side of things doesn't even allow that sometimes.
And eventually, like, if you're hoping that theaters will only be open for, or not hoping, but you think that theaters are going to be only open for comic book films, eventually
Or big
comic book
blockbuster
films
films, yeah.
are going to drop. Like it's in
The trend
10
will
or
end.
15, the trend will end. It just happens. It's like Facebook will end and all these other things.
Yeah, it will
The
be
trend-
it will transition to a different way, right?
Yeah, and it'll transition. So there is still a market for smaller films, maybe not now and not in the next 10 or 15 years, but they will come back in a big way. And
I just don't think in theaters.
we don't know that.
Yeah, but
We don't
they
know.
won't. They won't. But who's going to go? That's the problem because people aren't seeing them now, though.
Because nostalgic reasons. People will just be like, you know what? I want to watch that movie in the theater.
No, they won't.
They won't.
They won't.
But that's
if your
hopeful.
theater is like so huge, you don't need, like, you can still make smaller theaters.
I agree, but the problem with building a smaller theater is that you're limited on what you could show on it, though, right? That's the problem. Like we used to have three cinemas, or we used to have smaller mall cinemas. We don't get that anymore.
And you also have to remember now, people are more aware. Like the people are starting to become aware, especially because of this pandemic, that movies in theaters now are max 45 to maybe 60 days in a theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like,
I could wait.
why would I go see a movie in theater? I can just wait till I see it at home. I don't have to go see this movie. Like there are a lot of people I know that waited to see the Batman at home.
Yeah.
a lot of people that are in our industry even that waited to see the Batman at home. They didn't want to go to see the theater, and it sucks. But they knew they're like, oh, 45 days. You know,
I can
what?
wait.
I can
Yeah.
wait. I don't want to buy expensive popcorn. I don't want to be in a theater full of people. I'll wait till it's home, and that sucks. It sucks.
It's going to be really, again, when I think of back to like our first episode in like, or sorry, our end of the episode in 2019, where like where theater's going to be in 10 years from now. I didn't think they'd be where we are right now. Obviously, I didn't think we'd have a pandemic either, but who knows what's
If you
going to
did,
happen,
though,
right?
that'd been crazy.
That would have been crazy if we predicted that. Anthony did say the world was going to be ending, though. So
you
maybe Anthony
No,
foresaw something.
I said theaters would cease to exist.
Yeah, but you said, I think, from the rubble of the great...
the great COVID. We're like,
Yeah,
what
the
does
great
that mean?
COVID.
There is a huge opportunity for theaters to come back in a different way and
Yes.
come back
Yes.
like not in a modern way. I think utilizing what we had in the past and making it more modern. I think theaters that have that old marquee sign, they're still living. Those small boutique theaters, I think there's an opportunity there for them.
Yeah, but they're not making money, though. They're literally, those theaters like that, how many of them closed during the pandemic? Like, in terms of they didn't come back a lot. And they're surviving by showing films that they're not open 24/7. They're literally open like weekends for one showing of something, and then the rest of the time they're rented out as like event space and things like that.
But what if like famous players?
What
if Cineplex did a theater like that as a beta trial?
I would love to see
in a
it.
small in a hub market where you can actually go down the street and not enter this huge building to go watch Doctor Strange. But you can enter like where it says Doctor Strange with lights, and like it has this vintage look to Hollywood and film, and you're walking there, you get your popcorn.
I get it, but I think financially, and I'm just like,
but financially they're already fucked.
Yeah, so why are they going to fuck themselves more?
You don't know that.
Dude, the amount of money and the people that pay to run it and the electricity and all of that for what? For one screen?
It's too much of a risk for
10
them.
screens.
They just
10 screens. That's like almost a full theater, though.
Yeah, they can't risk that.
If it's replacing,
if they were to do it,
they have nothing to lose.
Dude, they're making that movie that you showed me the other day, the animated Cinderella with her shoe kind of movie. I think they're struggling. Okay,
they're producing that one, but no, but like look at the one we know that they've been trying to build that
the
Junction, which was like their concept theater at Aaron Mills in Mississauga. I don't even think they've broken ground on that yet.
They haven't, and that's the thing. See, that was the sign.
And that was a small theater. I think that was only 6 screens.
It was something like that. That was a sign of being like, okay, you're now delving into a market that could be interesting. But you also have to worry, you do the Junction, you do all that stuff, but now what are the prices for these movie tickets? Are they going to be your everyday price, or are they going to be $30 for some reason because you're adding on some sort of a fancy fee? Like VIP, for example, is so expensive, but you do it on a date night.
It's not, but it's also not that far off now from IMAX tickets.
It's also not that far off.
$50 for 2 tickets
on a Wednesday,
on a regular, not on a Tuesday.
Wait, what?
On a regular day, $50 for 2 tickets with tax.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money for a not so great screen, even.
Not so great screen.
Not so great audio.
Yeah, you can eat.
No food.
You can eat. You have the comfort of being in your own chair. You don't have like these people just bunched up next to you.
Yeah.
Which is great, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's already so expensive. Like if you did like a 4 to 6 theater run, like I think you're looking at the Junction right now. Like since they have less screens, they'd be like, okay, more expensive tickets.
The Don Mills VIP is just VIP.
Just VIP.
And that's probably what that theater, every time I go to it's people going to it.
Yeah.
Because they
got the money though. Yeah. Don Mills area has money.
Yeah, because it's right next to Bridle Path.
Yeah.
Right next to Draco.
Draco Malfoy.
Malfoy.
Drake lives down the street.
Draco.
Champagne Poppy.
It's so funny. Like you have the money. Why even go to the theater? Like you could probably have a theater in your own house.
You could.
It's such a weird.
I don't think Drake goes to the theater.
But people like the night out, right? I think that's why.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting next couple of years. I think this year alone we're going to see some changes because this is the first almost normal-ish year since the pandemic with movies being open again. But we'll see. Speaking of movies opening up later this year, though, Pixar created a fully virtual IMAX camera to shoot Lightyear. This is coming from Charlie Ridgely of comicbook.com. Pixar Animation Studios has long been at the forefront of groundbreaking innovations for animated filmmaking. Toy Story changed the entire industry and started the shift towards computer-generated animation. Now, with Lightyear, Pixar is breaking new ground yet again. For this new movie, Pixar created a fully virtual IMAX camera, allowing several scenes in Lightyear to be shot on a bigger scale than previous animated projects. We created a virtual IMAX camera with a 1:4:3:1 aspect ratio, developed a pipeline to allow us to simultaneously shoot and film for IMAX, and then crop down for standard 2:3:9:1 format, Jane Yen, Lightyear visual effects supervisor, revealed during a recent press conference. When Lightyear hits theaters on June 17th, it will be released on IMAX screens around the country, allowing for those scenes shot natively in IMAX to be shown exactly how they were intended. Shay, what do you think about this?
This is cool. This is very cool. I mean, what I'm kind of curious about, though, is are there only certain scenes shot with this virtual IMAX camera? Because, if it's virtual... Like, it's not like you have to lug around a camera.
You don't have to lug around that 300-pound IMAX.
Like, it costs too much digital.
Yeah, like, it was just like that part to me was like, we'll just do the whole thing in IMAX
maybe it's
if you're going to copy it anyways.
A beta of it, you know?
Yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe they wanted those moments to hit more with a IMAX.
Yeah,
like
no,
a film.
I get that.
They look at because not all films are shot 100% in IMAX.
No,
but
very rare.
you have those moments that shit, the ratio just opened up. It's more impactful.
But it just sucks that when we get home, we lose a lot of that stuff too, right?
Yeah, not anymore with Disney films, right?
Well, luckily with Disney, it still remains, but that's still the outlier in some certain areas. This is cool though. I think we love IMAX because it's Canadian, and we love IMAX because it looks fucking great.
Yeah,
and IMAX laser is beautiful. That's what one of our introductions to laser projection was, IMAX laser. So I'm down for IMAX and Pixar to continuously push the needle forward. This explains also why we knew that. Well, I'm pretty sure we all agreed that Lightyear was going to be theaters still.
Yeah, we had a...
I said it was going to be... But that was like...
That's when I think theaters were closed still here.
Yeah, theaters were closed.
Yeah.
I said it's going to go Disney Plus.
But I think it makes sense, though, for this movie, especially being a space film. We know a lot of space films are traditionally in IMAX or shot in IMAX, and I think it's going to really like kind of blow us away when that IMAX ratio opens up and like it turns into Interstellar.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, shit, this is really big.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah,
so it'll be fun, and Pixar is always on that cutting edge of.
They very much
development.
are. So this is. I like that they're not just kind of staying stagnant, and they're always developing, and that's what makes Pixar such a great company. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I think this is a great step forward. I'm curious, is this something that's licensed to them? Is this going to be broken out and created in other locations and places? Like, could you start doing this with other animated studios or other mediums that are available?
Yeah, I mean, can they do this? I mean, maybe they already do this when it comes to filmmaking. If there's a sequence in a film that's mostly CG, like, does this virtual IMAX camera already exist?
In my mind, it's like you're just opening up the aspect ratio, right? Like it's animated,
but it's also lenses they created too, right?
Right. So it's you don't think of it that way. You just think, oh, it's animated. I just stretch it.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'm just gonna show
my
more.
mouse,
I'm gonna animate more.
Go to the corner.
They virtually
extend.
created an IMAX camera, which is fantastic because you don't have that technology in animation. You can only get IMAX in a more physical form.
Yeah.
So building it for that medium is fantastic.
Yeah. And it's exciting. Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, he might now do an animated film.
He might.
Yeah, he might.
Think I could shoot it in IMAX, but can I use film? Like, no.
It's virtual.
Drawing each cell of animation. Nolan.
It's been 40 years we've been working on this movie for Nolan.
We only have 5 minutes done.
Yeah.
My God. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna look. I think already Lightyear we've said visually looks amazing. So we're really excited to see what it's going to turn out into. Some quick updates before we move on to the box office. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has been banned in Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Fast X revealed as title as the next Fast and the Furious movie. Do you guys think the next film, because it's 2 parts, is going to be Furious X?
Wait, is it 2 parts?
It is 2 parts. Part 10 is 2 parts.
I'm so lost with
So
that.
unless they
one,
no, it's 2 movies.
2 parts.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we need 2 parts.
So do you think it's going to be Fast X and Furious X?
I already.
That's so confusing because X is
it.
the Roman number for 10, so it has to be
Fast X Part 2
Maybe they'll do like Final Fantasy, like Fast X -1.
divided by 2.
Yeah.
Why is there
Carry the
algebra in
3.
this?
Yeah.
What's the Roman number for 11?
XI?
XI.
Yeah.
XI.
But I don't think I think they're calling. Can you confirm for me? But I think it is Part 2. It's not 11.
So there's no 11. It's just
No.
part 2.
Vin Diesel doesn't like counting past 10.
Yeah,
No.
maybe it's a Final Fantasy version of it.
6 divided by 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it 11 or is it Part 2?
It just says first part. That's
Yeah,
it.
like I think they said this is the first part. So
Why do we need a finale that's in 2 parts? Like,
Yeah.
this isn't based on a book, is it? Have we been watching the wrong films?
it's based on the owner's manual, is it
Yeah,
not?
is it based on like an Auto Traders magazine?
Is that is there more to that name or is just that's the name?
Fast X.
Fast X.
Yeah, I mean, but again, I think we're expecting too much from a series that the second film was called Too Fast, Too Furious,
Yeah.
and then
But that was cool, though.
I would say
and then
part 1
Fast
and
and
part
Furious
2.
Tokyo Drift, and then Fast and Furious for the
Yeah,
4th one,
yeah.
and then Fast 5.
Yeah.
And was it Fast 6? And then Furious 7.
Was it Fast 6?
It was Fast 6, yeah. And then Furious 7, and then Fast 8.
Fate of the Furious.
Fate of the Furious, and then F9.
F9.
Remember F9 last year?
I'll
F9.
never forget F9.
And then Fast X. So I think this is perfectly on brand for this series. Casey Affleck reportedly joins Oppenheimer because why the fuck not at this point?
You guys are the next to be cast in that film, I think.
I think so. We're
They're
white.
missing 2 more guys.
Yeah, we're missing 2 more white guys. We'll join. Speaking of 2 more white guys, Matt Damon and Ben
Fast
Affleck.
and Furious 6, that's it.
Oh, wait, Fast and Furious 6.
Yeah.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck team up on Nike Sneaker Man for Amazon.
Nike Sneaker Man. It's a new...
it's called the Sneaker Man because that's what you said.
Yeah, that's the Nike Sneaker Man. Like that's what he was.
Sneaky Man.
He would sign people.
And Jason Momoa, my man, to star in Minecraft film for Warner Brothers. Jason Momoa is also going to be in Fast X, is he not? He's a villain with Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Woo-wee! This is going to be a fun movie. Let's get into some box office. Cha-ching! Shay, take it away, please.
So we got some good news over here. It's come from Eric Davis. Fandango.
Fandango.
The Bad Guys overperformed this weekend and it hit 24 million. So I think the budget for that film was about 70 million. And worldwide, it's made about 87 million so far.
Good for them.
So it's still got some ways to go before it becomes completely profitable for them. But hopefully it stays strong the second weekend. Sonic movie 2, 145.8 million in its full domestic run. I don't have I have the numbers here somewhere. Hold on. And then Northman with 12 million. And it had a higher opening than the entire domestic run of the Lighthouse. So that's pretty crazy. Now you're probably wondering, hey, where's Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of that Dumbledore guy? I don't know what voice that was.
It's like a Simpsons character.
Yeah, I did. 14 million, and it's in third place.
That's like an 80% drop almost from
75, something like
Woo-wee.
that. Yeah, that's yikes.
That is not strong. But there is a great box office story.
There is a great box office story, and that comes from Everything Everywhere All at Once at 26.9 million domestic. It is about to pass Midsummer, which was at 27.4, and Moonlight, which is at 27.8, to become the 4th highest grossing movie ever for A24, and it has grossed 6 times more than the Daniels' previous film, which was The Swiss Army Man.
Awesome. You love to see it. Let's get into some trailers. We finally have got our first look at Thor, Love and Thunder, and I think that's the best place for us to start. What a fun trailer.
It
just made me so excited. It's too fun. I loved seeing the Guardians in this, and I was tweeting this weekend that like, what a time right now it is to be a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, because they're going to be in Thor. We just had the Amazing Guardians game. They're having the holiday special this year. We have Cosmic Rewind, the ride opening up in May. Next year we have Guardians Volume 3. Like, there's a lot to look forward to with them, and I think they fit perfectly in the worlds of Taika Waititi's Thor. Anthony, what did you think of this trailer?
It was good. Yeah, I liked it. It really teased. It was a real big teaser. A lot of
very short teaser.
Coming of age for Thor at this point, because he's done with the whole Thor fighting, and he wants to kind of like go off in the sunset and just relax. But then there's something that pulls him back in.
What could it be?
Don't
know. Be Gore the God Butcher, which we did not see. Who we did not see in this trailer.
Yeah.
We did not see him, but we did see the mighty Thor, Jane Foster return. Natalie Portman in. She looks amazing. She looks like just buff and strong, and she looked
the
dope.
Shit out of me.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of the trailer, Shay?
Oh, it was wicked. It was so funny. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a teaser, so it's short. But the vibe was set. The visuals are set. I'm excited.
Do you like a funny Thor? I think a lot of people were kind of like, because if you watch the first Thor, which was really serious, and then you go into
but Thor was funny in the first Thor.
Was he that funny though? Like,
not
this
that
is
funny.
more of like a comedic Thor.
He was not that funny.
Like a comedy.
Yeah, but
more of a comedy than all his other films. Like,
it was a fish out. The first Thor was a fish out of water story, so there was more comedy there with Thor. With his he kept getting hit in his face against the glass and being knocked out. But I think I like this Thor only because Thor's had a really good arc in the Avengers films now, where you had him be very serious and then kind of lose everything in his life. So I think he's used comedy to kind of counteract that. Mm-hmm. And then you see him finally kill Thanos in Endgame, and then he kind of goes into a depression, and where he's like, am I still worthy? Am I not worthy? And I like that that was a very comic accurate Thor, in the sense of, here's a big fat Thor like the Norse mythology accurate Thor, because that's what Thor looked like, and we saw that
big boy.
He was a big boy, big belly, big beard, and then we see him power up at the end, looking full Viking and taking on Thanos, which looked amazing. And then we get to see him just kind of like, okay, now in my own movies, I get to have a little bit more fun, and I like that. I think Thor needed that, because I don't think audiences were really in love with Thor the character until he kind of had his rebirth in Ragnarok, and then people got excited to see him again because he was fun, and he was. I don't think Thor is as interesting as a character, excuse me, when he's just serious all the time. You know what I mean? But I get it. But there's room. But I also think there needs to be moments where if something serious happens, let it be serious. Let that moment breathe too. So it's definitely a balance. But I've been really liking what Taika's done with Thor so far.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with the cat, because there are points in this story which are serious.
Yeah,
we know Jane Foster is battling cancer.
Yeah,
and that's why she is Thor. So in the comics, I think it was she wanted to stay Thor, because if she stayed as Thor, she doesn't die. She doesn't die. Yeah. And then when she doesn't, she's not Thor. She's in chemotherapy and she's going through hell. So that's a serious, sad plot point. Yeah. Of this whole thing, and I know they really focus on Thor. I'm curious to see how much they focus on Natalie's character. Yeah. And like where they juggle the two. Yeah. Because it almost seems like it's a transitional thing, but I don't know where Hemsworth is going to go after this. Is he going to continue making Marvel movies?
I think he'll stick around for a little bit, but maybe it'll be some time before we see him next. I don't know. I really like Hemsworth as Thor, though. Like, I can't picture anyone else as Thor now.
And you can't picture anyone as Tony, and you can't picture anyone as Rogers.
Yeah.
And it's just... we have to kind of get over that hurdle.
We do, because the multiverse opens up all possibilities, right? Yeah. We got some other trailers this week. Now and Then, which is an Apple TV Plus series. Angeline, which is a Peacock series starring Emmy Rossum. Dark Winds, which is on AMC. Lightyear, we got a new look for that, and we got a little taste of, Emperor Zurg. We got a Top Gun featurette, which looked really cool, and you really see the lengths and the crazy spots they go to train for this movie.
Well, this is how Tom Cruise makes movies, man.
This was a pro-propaganda Tom Cruise featurette, though.
Yeah, it was.
Like if Tom Cruise was being elected for president,
they would show a Top Gun featurette.
100%. Dude, Tom Cruise was. It's like, dude, I wanted to get the actors in the cockpit, but they had to learn cinematography, so they knew what they were doing up in the air, and that's pretty cool. But like, it was just very Tom. Like, Tom was like just like the director. I'm like, who's the director of this movie?
The director was like, I just sat back in my chair and let Tom.
I just let Tom do his thing. Yeah. But again, this movie, we should have watched it, or we were supposed to watch it in June 2020. So we will be watching it in the next month. Yeah. But it's just wild that we're finally getting this movie.
People will be seeing it at CinemaCon this week.
They will be seeing it. CinemaCon is this week, so it's going to be a really fun week for trailers and for news. So
we might get some Avatar news.
Yeah, so next week's episode of the Movie Podcast, it's going to be a big one, and then we're going to follow that with a 1-2 punch of our Doctor Strange review.
1-2 punch.
We also got to look at The Staircase, which is an HBO Max show, and Night Sky, which is an Amazon Prime Video show. Any thoughts on those?
Staircase looks good.
Staircase looks good. That damn Staircase, man.
It's pure HBO, it works on HBO. It's a true crime story involving a murder. But it has a really good cast: Toni Collette and Colin Firth.
Colin Firth, you got it. Out this week, we have The Offer, which is the Paramount Plus show. It's going to be premiering with the first 3 episodes, and we will have a review out for it. We have been watching it, and we'll share our thoughts very, very soon. Any other shows or films coming out this week? Are we missing anything before Doctor Strange?
There's probably something. I can put it up for you here.
While you're pulling that up, Anthony, I'm going to get you to start us off with what you've been watching.
This week, I've been watching a lot of TV series.
Yeah, me too.
Diving into those. So I started and I watched the first 6 episodes of Barry season 3. I think I can only talk about the first one at this point, because are we going to do
we'll talk about it on our review roundup episode.
Review roundup. Enjoying it. I think this is one of the best seasons of Barry. And the beauty of Barry is it takes a bunch of different genres of film and puts it into one story. So the groundwork is this dark comedy, but there's action, there's suspense, there's thriller parts, there's
drama,
there's there's a beautiful mixture of all these different films into this one. But this is the first year where I'm like, man, I keep forgetting Barry's not a likable character.
Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to like him.
He's a likable character into what he's trying to do, but he's not a good person.
Right.
And this really showcases how far he's going to go.
And the episodes, the first, I think 3 were directed by Bill Hader.
Yeah.
And
who's a great director. I think
this is also, I think, his best acting. Like some of the scenes, like there's moments where he's yelling and fighting. I was like, man, he's
I love Bill Hader so much.
We love Bill Hader, but man, he's something else with Barry. I think Barry is such a passion project for him, and it's been such a while since we've got this season. I was afraid it was never going to come. So glad it's here.
It took a really long time. It was like 5 years, but I'm so glad.
When was Barry season 2?
3 years or 4 years ago.
2019, right?
2018.
Was it that long ago?
It's been a while.
Jeez.
Barry season 1 was 2018.
Oh, maybe.
And Barry season 2 was 2019.
Okay, yeah. Well, so 3 years.
Month.
What month? March for season 1 and March for season 2.
Okay, so
yeah, but 3 years though, but it's still over 3 years though, right?
It's been a while.
2021, 22, yeah. I thought we were in 2021 for a second.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
It's been a while, and the show's fantastic. One of the best. Like, TV is so good, and I'm so grateful to have been able to watch really good shows this year and last year with Succession and The Great and Barry. There's so many shows. Severance.
Yeah, we're in a really good spot. Memory is out this week.
Yeah, Liam Neeson is not gonna do TV.
Didn't that movie come out?
Qui-Gon Jinn stuff, but he'll do Memory.
January, or was that like just
Blacklight?
That was Blacklight.
Yeah,
Blacklight Memory.
Blacklight Memory. But here's the thing: if you were to cut, and we haven't seen Memory yet, so we sound like an asshole. But if you were to cut probably scenes in both films, I think
it's just the same
movie.
The same.
You could show me the trailer for Memory and put Blacklight at the end of it. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh,
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
So I watched Barry season 3, The Dropout. Yep. Because we're gonna do this extravaganza review. So I watched The Dropout and enjoyed it. I really did. I liked it.
Save it.
I'll just say, like, anyone. I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it. People who spearhead technology firms must be like serial killers.
Yeah,
they're all psychopaths.
Yep,
it's in their eyes, man. Like, you can see it in
Amanda Seyfried's eyes.
Her character,
Elizabeth Holmes.
Elizabeth Holmes. You can see it in like Zuckerberg. You can see it in a lot of like people who run these technology firms. There's no empathy. They're literally.
It's like there's like a deadness in their eye.
About empathy. It's so funny. It's like. We have to showcase empathy because it's like there's so much lack of empathy on their part.
Empathy is a product for them.
Yeah. Oh my god,
empathy is a product,
but like really good.
The scene where she's finding her voice was that serial killer moment where I was like, oh, she's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah. It's there's psychological trauma going on with her character and with I think anyone who goes through that thinking, and we'll talk more about it on our. Extravaganza show.
Extravaganza.
Put on the polar bear.
Yep.
Because we did our interview.
I was upset that the polar bear didn't want to come on the show, though.
Yeah, he couldn't.
Polar bear wasn't available.
They couldn't figure out which one it was. At the end.
They're like, well, dude, we don't have Wi-Fi in the Arctic. And you're like, oh.
The longest time, I went through that whole thing. I'm like, man, that polar bear is a male polar bear. Okay. Not realizing it was a female polar bear.
Oh. Did you watch it on mute though? Did you not hear it?
She never like said, "Oh, I'm a woman polar bear."
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a scene where it's like, "Oh, this polar bear spent the night with this other polar bear." Like, they're gay polar bears, and I'm like, "Oh!" And then she had a family.
Wow!
Like, damn, that's so progressive. I didn't realize how progressive polar bears are.
Polar bears, wow.
That's amazing,
dude.
That's
I swear to God, I thought that
it's banned in Egypt though.
It's banned in
Saudi Arabia.
But
yeah, great talk though. Great regard. Great film.
They all look the same except like the male polar bears.
The male ones, you're like, oh my god,
juggernauts. They come in like they're huge.
Yeah.
I love that story. Cute story.
Yeah.
It reminded me of. Remember the bear There was a show, the movie called The Bear.
Wasn't it also a Disney
It was
nature
a Disney
one?
nature
I don't
one,
know
too,
if it was a Disney. It
think
came
so.
out a
I think
while
it
ago,
was,
but it's
yeah.
like this narrative. So they capture all this footage, and then they
tell a story.
They make up a story, which
Yeah.
is so cute. And the story is really happy, and
Yeah.
it gets sad, and goes on adventures and all that. But I really enjoy it. I think
Yeah.
anyone who loves wildlife and nature will enjoy it, and especially for the kids, because its underlining message being climate change. It's a huge thing.
Pay attention.
Yeah. Put on Tokyo Vice. Really like it. Really, really like it. I'm a big
Tokyo fan.
I fuck with the Japanese
I
culture.
thought you were going to say, you fuck with the Yakuza.
I'm not gonna say that because I don't know if Yakuza is listening right now.
Yakuza listening, Anthony wants to
If you're
join.
Yakuza, email the show. Let us know.
God.
Send it to Shay. He'll read
I'm a
it.
little scared. They can come see our IP address.
I don't think the Yakuza is as big as it once was.
Don't insult the Yakuza now.
No,
very
they're going to
sim-
make a point, man. Like, oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
as big. Now Daniel's whole family's dead. Why is my family
You
dead?
just hear screaming downstairs. They were quick. It's not even live.
Oh my God.
I really like the story. Everything takes place in Japan. There's a great blend.
It's good.
But you know what I'm saying?
The show
they're
good
not
start.
trying to make it look like it's not in Japan.
Yeah.
They shot it in Japan. It must have cost them a lot of money. But they do a great blend of. They have a great blend of language. So a lot of the show is in English and Japanese. Even the English actors, and it stars Ansel Elgort.
Yeah.
He speaks Japanese. He does a really good job of doing the whole language and the whole the mannerisms of a Japanese cadence of it. Fantastic. I know some people might think it's a slow story, but it just reminds me of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
It's like
you were engaged. Like
you're
something
in
about it. You were in it.
There is a cultural thing you're being seen. There's a lot of things I didn't know about Japan that I'm being introduced to, especially how reporters are picked to be a reporter. They have to go through a whole test.
Yeah, and this
it's
is in the
a yearly
90s too,
thing,
right?
and
So
it
I don't know if it's still the same, but
I feel like it'd be the
1999.
same.
I feel like
Japan doesn't really.
they're
Japan
very
doesn't-
by the book.
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
there's a whole thing about we can't call it a murder until
It's confirmed.
It's confirmed.
right.
Even though that guy was stabbed with a knife and there's a knife coming out.
Yeah, and he's holding it.
Well, that's not a murder yet. It might be something else. We
Yeah.
can't-
Very chopped up in
It's
bits.
they're very strict. A lot of cultural things that I
Yeah,
loved about it.
which sometimes you would think that you would hope that I think news of the world could learn from as well too, because there's people that have lives ruined from accusations that aren't true and vice versa. But it's interesting. It's very interesting, the Japanese culture, and I just know from learning about it and just from the way we see certain companies kind of handle their stuff, it's a very different way of operating.
Yeah. One thing I noticed is very Americanized too. There's this weird blend of West, American culture
East meets West.
and Japanese culture. It's baseball, and they really love baseball there. But then there's things that they do that even the journalists how am I supposed to write reports when I can't
Say stuff.
It's very controlled.
Isn't Japan where they have KFC on Christmas, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe it's Japan. Are you going to search
I'm
that
gonna
up?
look it up, yeah.
I believe it's Japan because my friend was in Japan and KFC is a big thing for them at Christmas time.
Yeah, it's a Christmas Eve tradition. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? That's so interesting with certain things get popular there.
Such an American thing
Yeah.
to do, but it's like this hybrid
Yeah,
fusion, which is fantastic.
yeah.
And then I put on, and I'm gonna continue watching it. I think we're gonna do a review on it.
Outer Range.
No, Tokyo Vice.
Oh yeah, dude, we're gonna talk about every single show we've ever watched in this TV episode we're going to be doing soon.
And then Outer Range, which is an Amazon Prime, stars Josh Brolin.
Yep.
And
He's a cowboy.
He's a cattle farmer.
Yeah, he's a cowboy.
Yeah, he's a cowboy, but it takes place in Kanye country. I want to say
Wyoming?
Wyoming, yeah, Midwestern.
And Morgan Poots is in it. She's great.
Yeah, and Brolin's character comes across this weird hole in the ground where if he transcends through it, or even if he touches it, he can actually go through time and see things that are happening before they happen. And if he actually falls through it, it actually is this whole time thing.
Oh wow.
For him. But then there's a grounded story that revolves around it.
Yeah. Do you like it though? You're liking it?
It's interesting. It's very sci-fi. There's
Prime, right?
Prime. There's some visual effects where it just doesn't. It looks visual I know that's
This
CG.
is yeah.
But the story is interesting, and I'm in it. It's a very
Oh, you're in it?
No, I'm in it.
Oh, you're invested in it.
Yes. There is
This is the way you said it so naturally. You're like, I'm in it too.
I'm in it as well, so I can
promote
promote it.
I'm in it too. So,
but I like the grounded story because the grounded story involves a murder, and it's really good. So,
Always a murder. Always a murder in some show.
well, what else could there be? Like what
Not a
else?
murder.
Like
That's just living.
What engages you? It's either murder or money or someone doing something
No,
bad.
it's great.
Right?
No, I agree. It's always engaging. It's just weird. It's always like they'll always find a way. Like I was watching Sesame Street last week and someone was murdered. I don't get it.
today's letter is M.
For murder.
Elmo.
Elmo
Yes.
murdered Rocco.
This is how
Elmo
you
murdered Rocco.
chalk line
Yeah.
a murder scene.
There you go.
Yeah, you want to make sure you get all the fingers right.
That's it. I don't think I've watched anything else. Oh, I did a lot of like Star Wars stuff here and there.
Oh, like Lego Skywalker Saga?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Did I say Luke Skywalker? I said Skywalker.
You said Luke Skywalker, yeah.
Sorry, I
It's
just
okay.
like playing as Luke Skywalker. But Skywalker Saga. I bought the other couple of weeks ago. I bought the DeLorean Lego.
Oh,
I thought I
nice,
mentioned
yeah.
that. I
We bought
built-
together.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I watched you guys.
You watched us buy it. Yeah.
watched us.
They didn't have any more DeLoreans.
Did you want one?
I'll eventually get it.
I feel like you're not there yet with the DeLorean.
Yeah, you're not there yet.
I like Back to the Future. I'm not like in love with it.
You're not in love with the DeLorean car.
I love the DeLorean car, but like the movies, like great movies, but I don't have like a huge like affinity for them.
Right.
Yeah, but I do want the car though.
I mostly bought it for the car because DeLorean in the Lego form, but then Back to the Future and the cultural aspect of Back to the Future for me, it stands out. But I when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy this just because it's a DeLorean.
Yeah,
Right.
It's the same reason why I want like the Ecto one. Is it Ecto one?
Yes.
Yeah, the car, the Ghostbusters car.
So I've been slowly building that. I build a bag a day. That's how I pace myself.
Bag a day.
Because I don't
Keeps
want to
the
be like.
doctor away. You're right.
I don't want to like open a box and like build the whole thing and then I'm done. I like to like enjoy my build.
Yeah, you have to savor it.
Slowly.
Just like when you're murdering someone. Yes.
Well, yeah, like you slowly murder someone.
Okay.
You don't just murder them, right?
Well, it depends. I mean, if I want to kill someone quick, I want to kill them
We
quick.
talk about murder a lot on the show.
Yeah. Well, I think.
Well, it all depends what like.
But that's how we keep the show engaging.
You know?
We keep the show engaging because we include murder in it.
Because one day it might happen.
It might happen.
And,
Stay
you know,
tuned.
I also watched a lot of the Johnny Depp courtroom.
With Amber Heard,
Trial?
the trial, yeah.
Man, Johnny Depp's funny, dude.
It's been interesting. I've never seen a trial like this that has been memed instantly and like everything is like on camera and it's in a wild week.
I think this time around, and I don't wherever it's taking place. I'm not too sure what state or probably California, but I don't know. It really paints a picture of Amber Heard, and I think a lot of people are realizing what she did and how Hollywood treated Johnny Depp in terms of like cutting him out of this and he can't act anymore. I'm not saying he was.
I think they were both
right
horrible to each other.
Yeah, I think they were horrible to each other.
But who got the
extent
repercussions more? Yeah.
of Johnny Depp. Yeah, he used to beat me and did this and this to me, but she was beating him up.
Yeah.
You know, like there was a lot of like toxicity, but I feel like hopefully at the end of this trial, like Johnny Depp can like get out of the hole that he's in, because Amber Heard, she's a liar. You could see it in her face.
Yeah.
She fucking lied about a lot of stuff. She lied about the beating that she got when she never got it, and she was using makeup that never existed.
Wait,
until-
makeup never. Oh yeah.
And then
I saw that.
and that's the
I saw
other thing.
that.
The cosmetic company made a TikTok that was like all this like
she pointed.
I'm like, but it's like I thought I was going crazy because it's like it's funny, but why? Like,
See,
but why is it why?
Here's the thing: domestic abuse is never fun.
No,
right?
no.
But the way that the internet is treating this right now, like it's a courtroom comedy, and it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
Like it's actually like disgusting. Like let them deal with this shit because it's horrible. Stop turning into memes. Stop adding clown emojis to this kind of shit because it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
That we have to get to the point of talking about domestic abuse like it's a joke. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
It's a serious thing.
But I don't even know where
crazy.
the domestic abuse is. Did it actually happen? That's the whole thing.
Well, she hit him, right?
She hit him. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's tape. There's recording. Like, I hit you, Johnny. Take it.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember that video that came out that he recorded as well. I think it was in his kitchen. Like he placed the camera.
Yeah.
And she was like yelling at him and like throwing shit at him.
Yeah.
That was crazy. It was years ago.
And there was also like, if you go on YouTube, you can find like the courtroom I guess they interviewed them back in the day, where not the courtroom, I guess just the civil trial between the two, where they would record and the lawyers would ask Amber Heard, and like her acting abilities came through it. Like you could literally see when she's lying because she couldn't catch up with it.
Yeah, there's a scene too. Again, like we're watching a lot of things out of context, and this is a whole other rabbit hole that we could go down, though, another hole in the field that Josh Brolin could fall through. That we see like her like talking to her lawyer, and she like smiles at the lawyer, and then she immediately goes back like to crying mode. It's like, whoa, like that's
it's like a Kyle Rittenhouse situation.
Yeah, it's like really, really creepy. But to change things up, I'm gonna go next, and then I'm gonna get Shay to go next because I just don't like when I talk all the way through the end. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I'm gonna change it up. Also because most of the things I've watched, we've already
I get it. White guys
about.
Go first. I get it.
That's just remember, Shay. Just remember.
Is it cake?
Isn't it cake? Isn't it
this
cake?
time you got it right though. He said this. He said, "Is it cake?"
Yeah. Isn't it cake?
Oh, no, I said, isn't it?
Oh, you did?
Isn't it?
Sorry, I heard it.
Isn't
Maybe
it
I said it
cake?
really fast. Isn't it cake?
Severance. What more can be said about Severance other than it's an amazing show? We'll have all of our discussions on it on our mega episode. Also been watching some of the films leading up to the release of Doctor Strange. So I rewatched Infinity War and Endgame, and I finished my rewatch of WandaVision. I also watched Thor Ragnarok. I put it on like the same day the trailer came out just because it was a lot of fun, and I just felt like it. The Offer is a show that we will be talking about, the three of us, very, very soon. We could probably catch our review of that, I want to say maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, so look out this week. Make sure you're just following us on social so you can see when we're going to drop that. Lego Skywalker Saga, I've been playing a lot of that as well too. And then last night, for no reason at all, I could not sleep, so I put on X2 X-Men United, which is the second X-Men film from 2004, 2003.
Two?
No. I want to say two.
Two or
I don't know why.
three.
2003. I want to say
Brian
2003.
2003.
Brian Cox
is in it.
Wolverine, Logan.
X2 was 2003.
2003, yeah, because the first one was 2000.
Yeah.
Good movie. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like you definitely see how like wow, like this is what comic book movies used to be then, you know. And for so long, like it's only been the last 10 years that I'd say comic book movies really changed, like for the total shift, because you know once Avengers came out, that was like the formula that we sought after that. But before that, you'd have standouts like The Dark Knight, but then you'd also have like the X-Men films that, yes, there's some really great ones, but there are also some really bad ones and some really weird choices in them. But X2 is also just a really fun movie, and especially that opening with Nightcrawler and just in the White House. And there's such cool moments. There's also a moment where, you know, Mystique, you know, drugs some dude in a bar and makes out with him and then injects like iron into his ass cheek. So when he goes to visit Magneto, he pulls out all the metal in his blood. That was also a scene that happened. Like imagine like explaining that at that time, like to a kid and be like, yeah, like she injected metal into him. So Magneto like pulls out the blood, and it's so like I forgot how like violent it was. It was so bloody because it was just like this dude's blood's being pulled out of his stomach and chest and shit. He builds the metal balls out of them and just kills
that was
everyone.
big, and I guess not big, but there was a big part of the comics where Wolverine's adamantium was ripped out.
Yeah,
by
I remember that.
And they just I think they wanted to showcase that. Like, like you never thought Magneto could do that, but like it just put him into a different realm of holy shit. He's serious enough to like rip
something out of someone out. Yeah,
and that was big during that time too, because I remember
there's a lot of body gore.
I was looking for that exact comic. It was X-Men something where they ripped the adamantium out of Wolverine, and then they show it in this movie in 2002. I'm like, damn, that's cool.
It's cool, and it's also
like kids that just I know, you know, it's not real. Like no one can rip metal out of you, but
no, not yet.
Like that's comics. Like you can't neglect that. Like
no, you can't. You're right.
You can't make it always friendly. You have to involve some sort of
Because if it could happen in this world, it would happen. That's why. If it could happen in our world, then people would do it. So in a comic, it makes sense that it's happening.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just fun because I used to watch the X-Men. I'm gonna digest that thought for a little while.
Isn't it cake? But like that's what you're saying, right? Like you're saying that like that's the world they live in. So yeah, they do that.
Yeah, and that's what happens. And I think sometimes you need to show that, and we can't just keep it away from kids.
Yeah.
No,
We have to show that. Like, kids are not. They have the internet. They already know about all the things that you're not.
you're
supposed
seeing
to.
you're seeing, and that's the thing. I think
it's over for them.
when you're a kid, there has to be a level. I think this would be a good episode. Like, we should do an episode. We should write this down. Let's do. What do
You
you?
son of a bitch.
Well, we can do it.
There's so many things written down that we have to do.
Then we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do
Then we'll
it.
start doing it. But I think we should do an episode that I think would be really fun. The movies that scared us as kids. You know what I mean? Because I think there's,
Roger Rabbit. All right,
you know, but
next.
but there's
E.T.
there are guys. Don't spoil the episode. Like,
One more.
list them all. List them all right now. There's movies that I think that you watch as kids that kind of you need to be scared as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's part of developing, growing up. Is like you have to have that fear sometimes of watching something, and I think it helps, and especially if you watch a movie that does that also unlocks things that you may have interest in later, right? Like, there could be like the step, like a kid watching the Batman, maybe like down the road watching Seven and be like, oh, this gives me vibes of this, or Zodiac, and like you may have unlocked their taste of that from
you're
watching
right.
something
You're
else. There's like an
absolutely right.
entry to it, right?
You're absolutely
But
right.
that's all I watched. Shay, what did you watch this week?
Barry season 3, yeah, loving it. Anthony, you're absolutely right. It is probably the best season. I'm not as far as you, but like I'm loving so far what I've seen. Watched Severance, loved it. It was a great show. Excited to dive into
That
that.
ending.
The ending. Oh my god, that last episode was crazy. Tokyo Vice. I also watched the first 2 episodes. I'm not loving it as much as you. I like Michael Mann. It has Michael Mann's signature all over it, but Ansel Elgort to me isn't captivating enough in this show. It's a little slow for me, and I wish it gripped me a little bit more. But maybe as I keep watching, I'll find
Yakuza?
out.
I have a new customer for you.
I'm a customer to them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
could
I'm
kill
gonna
you.
hire them.
He's saying that you're the customer that they need to take care of.
But wouldn't I be then the product?
No. You're the customer.
I'm going to them.
No, because you need to be serviced, is what he's saying.
I'm gonna have them kill Anthony.
No, they can't work against me. I called them, man.
That's too late. They don't have phones.
Right?
They don't have phones.
all
They
the greatest
use
phones ever
Ravens.
made, man.
They use Ravens.
Ravens.
In Japan?
In Japan, yeah.
Damn.
It's a small selection of Ravens they have.
You know Mario's Yakuza, eh?
Who?
Super Mario.
But he's Italian though.
He's both.
But he's Japanese.
Japanese
Italian.
Japanese.
He's half. He's a half breed.
Yeah. He's, oh my God, he's a
worst,
hybrid.
worst breed, bro. Yakuza and Mafia? Whoa.
Damn, that's
poor guy.
so evil.
Yeah.
That's pure evil. I also watched a couple episodes of We Own This City. It is the Johnny Bernthal.
Yeah, premiering tonight on HBO. or
Jay Burns.
last night, if you're
Jay
watching this.
Burns. Yeah, appearing. Yeah, last night.
As is Barry is premiering
As
tonight
is
as well,
Barry
too.
as
yeah.
well. Yes. I'm actually enjoying it. It's. I wish John was in it more. I mean, that's the thing. I think with everything that I ever watched,
More John Bernthal.
With John Bernthal.
Does he, like, he should have his own show. I just feel like, other
And
than
I
The
thought
Punisher.
I thought this was gonna be it.
Yeah.
But he's not in it enough for me. Like, and when he's in it, it's like, damn, this is so good. But like, then he goes away, and you're like, okay. And it's very much like The Wire, like the pacing of it, the style of it, very Wire-like. So
Very Wire-ish.
Very Wire-ish.
Yeah.
I went to go watch Everything Everywhere All at Once again in theaters. Watched The Offer, which we will talk about soon.
Very soon.
Polar Bear as well, and I've been putting so many hours into Lego Star Wars. I am now completely 100% done all the movies, like 100%. I've got all the mini kits, all the challenges. I think I'm like 40-50 hours in the game.
Damn, dude. You're going hard on it.
Good investment, right?
Very good.
I told you guys, it's good. It's the best money you could buy.
They'll never remake it, right?
No. Well, no. Not for a long time.
Yeah.
I hope not.
That's
I don't
another.
think you need to.
That's another show that we should do. Visual remakes.
Visual
films.
remakes?
Yeah, visual effects remakes.
Oh,
Like
like
Star Wars?
like Star Wars and stuff?
Star Wars or movies that you like. Visual effects weren't there yet, but if they could be updated now,
Like Tron, maybe?
or like Twister, like the tornado in Twister,
Twister.
could be so much better now.
Yeah.
Would you want it or would you not?
I wouldn't.
I would leave the films alone.
Yeah.
We leave
Personally.
everything alone, but the visual effect part.
But it stands out then still.
But
Because it's different,
what
though,
if it's
too,
so
right?
bad?
But that's what George Lucas did with some things, like the dance scene that they added to
Oh God.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Musical number, right?
The musical number, yeah. Like, why? And that was and that was cutting edge at the time too. But it's an interesting discussion though. So
Yeah.
We'll add it to the topics that we'll never talk about.
Yakuza?
Yakuza.
Customer.
That was it for you, right?
That was it.
What do you guys have going on this week in your personal lives?
That's a personal
I
question.
need people to know.
Too personal.
What are you looking forward to doing this week? This is a week now before Doctor Strange. We're officially seeing Doctor Strange a week from today. Of you listening to this episode.
If you listen to this episode today, we're not gonna say what day it is.
No.
But
the day the episode comes out.
No, but if you listen to the day,
yeah.
if you listen to it a week from now, then
yeah, watching it.
Watching it. Sorry,
I'm so confused. Man.
Are you doing anything this week to lead up to it? Are you guys rewatching anything? Are you?
I'll probably do WandaVision again.
Yep.
I'll probably do WandaVision again, and maybe Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home would be a good one.
I never need an excuse to watch.
I probably will do
the Batman. What?
I really haven't watched. Oh my god! I watched the Batman this week too. You watched it as well?
I watched the scene. I didn't watch it.
All the bonus features. Yeah, can't believe it.
I'm just gonna watch Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is going to watch
because I forgot that movie. I don't know exactly how it started and how it ended, so I'm gonna rewatch it.
So the movie then.
Yeah, the whole movie.
Probably the middle of it too.
I remember the middle of it
because we're gonna lead into watching Doctor Strange. Multiverse of Madness. I don't know, and then maybe like spend time with you guys.
Maybe
we'll
see.
We'll hang out. The problem when the holy month of Ramadan, the thing is, I'm always tired because when I'm thinking about eating a lot, like I'll nap more. I've never napped this much in my life. I'm not a napping kind of person.
Yeah, you're not a napper.
I'm not a napper, but because I'm fasting, I'm like, I need time to go by a little bit faster, so I'll nap for a bit.
May is like around the corner.
Is it May 2nd?
May 2nd is tentatively when Eid will be. So we'll see what happens.
So on May 2nd, is it like the biggest feast of the feasts of feasts?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's like if you were to give it an equivalence, it'd be like our Christmas.
Okay, so it's like a huge feast.
Huge feast.
It's like going into Thor's castle, and it's like
it's going to the gates of Valhalla and like enjoying.
Did you say pig?
No pig.
No pig. We don't just do one day where we're like pig.
Who got the pig, guys? Okay. Come on.
Like meats and apples and fruits.
What? Yeah, I guess. There's our apples for sure. I don't think every house has an apple though, but yes. I don't know why we care about apples that much.
Well, I don't know. I think of the kings of.
We have foods. I'll say that we have.
I feel like you're a king.
A lot of lamb, a lot of goat, a lot of beef and chicken.
Yeah,
definitely no pig. I promise you that.
Yeah, so
I
thought of pig because
one Muslim family out there that's just breaking boundaries. They're trend setting.
Crossing that line,
crossing that barrier. And they're like, "What is so bad about this?"
Yeah,
and then they find out.
No,
they're in hell. I'm just kidding. But no, that's most of this week is just kind of like the last week. So, really just spending time with the family.
That's good. It's crazy though. This is kind of the last quiet week for a little while because once May starts, it's like
boom, boom, boom,
nonstop. Summer movie season has begun. It usually starts earlier. It's like April was pushing it, and then March. But now it's like May, June, and July are really like summer movie season. So it's gonna be a fun month. These are my favorite months of the year, I think, too, just because the weather's nice. It's gonna be a good week, and then lead into Doctor Strange, which is gonna be a really fun time as well. I agree. As always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday, and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes and all the latest movies and series. You already know we have a lot of reviews dropping on the Movie Podcast feed this week. The Offer, Duel, our Mega TV episode. So we have lots to look forward to. Make sure you're tuning in for all of it. It is CinemaCon this week too, so there's going to be lots of movie news you won't want to miss next week on the Movie Podcast. And don't forget, you can follow us at the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Join our Discord. We're having some great conversations in there, and write into the show at
hello@TheMoviePodcast.ca.
Don't forget, you can also watch us on youtube.com/TheMoviePodcast. Check out our show notes for all of those links and more. That was this time with the Movie Podcast.
And we'll see you next.